it's definitely, it's lifting back up. The weak tornado, but there is one, Mike.
Okay, Emily, what direction from Minko is that weak tornado?
We are north of Minko, and the tornado, we're facing to the southeast.
So you're looking southeastward from North Minko.
Yes.
Okay, we copy that. That's going to be down in the tunnel area. That is a weak tornado. You saw it there snaking down. And that's going to be looking southeast out of Minko. So that's going to be down in the tunnel area. Tornado warning for Grady County, tornado warning Cleveland, tornado warning McLean, tornado warning Canadian, tornado warning Oklahoma County. And let's go to the storm tracker here. And this is what we have going on right now. Storm tracker here. We have three main.
All right, so the latest chaser report there was near Minko. You see that we have one appendage comes down south of Union City, just to the east of Minko. There's probably the tornado on that one. They said it was a small, brief tornado. There's another appendage comes down just to the east of Tuttle. That has been reissued on as, that's the storm we've been talking about as number 2. That's the one that will head toward Moore. Immediately, boy, oh boy, that's going to be heading toward the Newcastle area. We remember that one. That's where the Moore tornado began.
And then eventually there's Norman too.
And then ultimately there could be Norman also. And then we have the lead storm that is now in the area that is going to go north of Moore. Let's take a look at the velocities on this one. It's getting a little bit more difficult to discern. But let me take a quick look here. Last we had seen it being very sharply was around the Valley Brook area. Let me back up one time step here 5 minutes ago. It seems that we may be getting a little bit lucky here. We'll have to rely on the spotters. There's still some pretty strong circulation now just to the south and east of Valley Brook on that lead storm. But based on radar, it's getting a little bit less detectable, beginning to look like we're getting a big broad gust front with potentially the tornado being undercut, but that's what the radar suggested. It's a very complicated evolution of the storms today. These are high precipitation supercells. They're getting a lot of rain very close to their updrafts, and at times that rain surges forward, undercuts, chokes off the tornado. But that said, we are also on the edge of this area that's had the rain. We're getting multiple of these hook echoes that come down and at least have the capability of producing brief tornadoes. And as I slide along the line here, one yet bigger hook echo that is coming down off to the north and west of Cougar at the very end of the line there, or Kogar I should say, and that one is getting better and better identified in terms of a potential tornado with each new scan that comes in. So unfortunately we may not be confined to just those first 2 storms. We may yet have a new one forming on the flanks of that. That one potentially could come a little farther south. That would come more perhaps toward the Norman area. We are watching there on the left a chaser, continuing to see a lot of windy and rainy conditions surrounding these storms.
Yeah, and Dr. Forbes is trying to figure out exactly where they are, and that's really what we're trying to do, because there's 3 different parts that you're looking at, right? There's the 2 that have the tornado warnings,
yes,
and there's one that you're watching that looks like it now has a tornado vortex signature on it.
It's certainly developing one. It has no warning of any kind at this point.
But so we have chasers that we're keeping an eye on, but we're trying to figure out which storm they're on. And then that's part of what the challenge here is, because we can look on the right-hand side of your screen at some of the tools here that give us indications of where tornadoes are, but chasers play the important role of confirming what we're seeing on the radar. Well, that's a lot of lightning too, so we know that these storms are definitely strong, they're powerful, very heavy rain, the strong winds coming into the storms, the tornado themselves, of course, we know very dangerous, and it looks like the rain's getting heavier, Dr. Forbes, and the lightning's more intense. We understand this storm chaser, Tony Laubach, is near Union City.
Yeah, one of the first things that I said today when I came on air, Chris, was this was not going to be your ideal chase day. The storms would have a lot of rain around them. The initial storms all basically were elbow to elbow against each other, and literally the rotations were on the west edge. What has happened and unfolded is that ultimately the northernmost storms in that initial line got choked off by the rain-cooled outflow, and has been this, we've reoriented into a west to east line of storms with the tornado rotations following along the south edge of that line.
And you're saying it's not a good day to chase. In fact, one of the our meteorologists in the Global Forecast Center, Matt Crowther, also told me earlier, he's like, he just got back. This is his first day back to work, and he said, you know, it's not a good day to chase. And unfortunately, we found out firsthand with Mike Bettis. They took a direct hit, and now they lost one of their vehicles, and Mike was telling us earlier he was just happy to be alive. They are okay. They are banged up, and I believe they're going to go to the hospital to get checked out. They're banged up. They have some lacerations, but they are okay. One vehicle is destroyed. They do have two that are essentially limping along, and they did get out of the way. And Dr. Forbes, what are you looking at right now?
Well-defined hook echo on this lead storm. Tornado indicated just to the south and east, or east-southeast of Valley Brook, with the body of the hail now beginning to come into the heart of downtown Oklahoma City. The second storm with a, whoops, let me try to back out of that one a little bit. Hit the wrong button. I'll zoom back in. The second storm also has a pretty well-defined hook on it and a tornado signature. That one is the one that is heading toward Moore.
And the one that you were worried about earlier, Dr. Forbes, Sarah's saying now they're expecting a tornado warning to come here any moment.
Yeah, I certainly would do that if I were them. It has gotten more and more into this well-defined hook echo. Let's take a look at the velocities on that one. Oh boy. Yes, indeed. It now has red and green that are touching each other. So,
and Dr. Forbes, I can't help but notice right here, the tornado hunt team, as they're trying to get out of the way, are they in danger of this one? You see,
no, I don't think it's, yeah.
They're okay to
Let me slide it over a little bit so the viewers can see that. I'll have to zoom out just a little bit.
I think it's on the, yeah, there it is, yeah.
Here it is. So the tornado hunt location is here. The new tornado will be coming over toward the Union City area, or more likely it will sag southeast, keeping out of the area that has previously been rain cooled. So they're okay from that. The tornado hunt team is on the other hand going to get into the body of the storm. So they may get rain, they may get hail that is coming from that next storm as it slides along this whole line. But you see here, this next storm, well-defined hook echo, that's what we call a supercell thunderstorm. The rain-cooled air, the rotation aloft in the storm, spirals the precipitation into that hook pattern. This little rain-free notch comes in, that's where the warm inflow comes in, and the tornadoes like to form right at the interface between the rain and the warm inflow, and that's indeed where we're seeing the storm relative velocities showing up as a tornado vortex signature at this time. I am not getting at this time, fortunately, a debris ball or a debris tornado debris signature on that. The next storm east is looking a little bit more ragged at this point. Let me slide this around just a little bit to the north. Almost looking as if here that maybe the storms have put out a little bit of overall rain-cooled outflow. I'm seeing some little blue line here down near Norman, down near Newcastle.
And that would be the air rushing out, kicking up dust or insects.
Yeah,
and the radar
sort of the insects and dust that are collected in the shifting winds that could be outflowing, and then on the south side of that would be inflowing. And collects in that whatever kind of insects and dust might be there. That would be a good thing. Right. That would mean some rain-cooled air now has pushed east and south of this second storm, and the storm may be ingesting a little bit of rain-cooled, more stable air, making it more hard for it to have an intense tornado.
And there you go. There's that tornado warning. Now, does the fact that the front two, if they're weakening, does that play any role in the back one that just has a new tornado warning on it?
Well, what these lead storms have done is put out probably something like this, a rain-cooled air, and some of that what we're seeing in one of those earlier videos where the chasers were seeing rain going from left to right, or from right to left, I should say. That was probably that forward flat downdraft rain.
And we saw the trees blowing.
Yeah, we saw the trees blowing, the flag blowing. What that has done is laid down a bump for what happened is that